What's up, everybody? This is our season finale for season 2, but it's a show I've been wanting to do for a minute. What greater time to do it than on our season finale? As you see, I got Ant in the building with me. Our topic for this show is somewhat sports related. It's somewhat personal, but I think it's something that we need to discuss that just need to be brought to the forefront, which is mental health in sports and mental health in the African American community. Um, Mental health in sports, regardless of what people think is a real thing. Um, a lot of athletes deal with it. This time of day, it's real in the field with mental health. You think about all the social media content, the TV content, and everybody in your business. There's no more privacy, so you can't really, if you want to move around, you can't really move around. Somebody always around, and stuff like that can mess with your mental health. Um, Mental health don't mean you're trying to commit suicide. Not knocking anybody who's went through that because I've known people to do it, but it doesn't make you weak. But sometimes you need to talk to people. That doesn't make you weak. As far as athletes today, me and Ant will talk about. I'll use Zion, the situation Zion going through. Zion, I still think you're a simp, but that can have an effect on a person. All your business out in the street. Now everybody's judging you, talking about you, laughing at you. The jokes can get to you, especially if you're not from. He's from a small town, so a lot of this stuff is new, even though he's been in New Orleans. So, Ed, what's your take on? I worry about his mental health as far as this situation that's going on because it's something that should have been handled in-house and stuff like that. But I can see it wouldn't surprise me if he was bothered. What you think? What you think about that, Ed?
I think you'll probably get bothersome at some point because it's just like you said, you don't get any privacy. You in the public eye. You know, they paying you millions of dollars to, in a serious note, to play a game, and they got all your personal stuff out there. They leaking your messages and everything. I think when he probably, gets some time alone, he sit by himself, probably it gets to trickle in your mind, and then you look at your phone, you look at TV, and that's all they want to talk about. So I think mentally it can really mess with you. You probably not gonna see it on the outside if you walked up and saw him or you see him on TV, but when he by himself, I think it mentally, it could beat a person down. I definitely believe so.
I look at a lot of athletes like the tennis player Osaka.
Yeah.
Man, she was like the next one, and I know tennis is a real racist sport.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine the text, the tweets, just the stuff she was getting, comments and stuff, which caused the young lady to take a step back, to almost walk away from the game because of what went on. And looking at her situation really made me appreciate somebody like Serena and Venus Williams, because I can just imagine what they had to deal with at the time they was coming in. You saw some of the stuff or the trying to bully the other players did,
Exactly.
and it just shows to me just how cold they was to overcome all that and to channel that. But you can't tell me that didn't have an effect mentally on they mental health.
Because they're human beings too. Not just
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're human beings. Then you winning, you're not getting the endorsements you supposed to get. They giving the players who's 100th of the player they was. So it's a lot of little things the media will do. They'll build you up.
Instead of articles, they got blogs, and they just...
Yeah, and the media will build you up to tear you down, which is exactly what they did to Serena. So people trying to paint a narrative about you. You look at the athletes in the past, mental health has caused some athletes to kill themselves,
Yeah.
which is sad because of depression or constant blows to their head, or not being able to deal with real life after they retire and have to go back to being a civilian. Um, like I say, having some form of mental health don't make you weak. It doesn't make you a punk, as people say. My experience, I'll go even personal in the black community, African American community. We are taught to
Hide our feelings.
hide our feelings,
Have thick skin.
Be
tougher.
be tough,
That's probably
sweep
not
stuff under the rug.
Best thing to say.
It's not. I'll use my personal experience. It's no knock on any of my family. My uncles taught me not to cry. You're not supposed to cry.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to cry. They didn't call you a punk or nothing, but don't cry, don't cry. And you grow up, you playing in the streets, you get hurt,
Yeah.
you ain't supposed to cry.
Dust it off. Get back.
That's not something healthy. That don't make you a punk because you didn't cry. So I grew up over 40 years not knowing how to cry. So now I'm in my 40s. Life is changing. Things are happening. I don't know how to express myself because I've always been told not to cry. Cover your feelings. That stuff isn't good on your mental health. Me personally, I dealt with depression for over 15, 20 years. For probably 10, didn't even know I was going through it. But certain things were happening. My emotions was different. Me going through depression, I wasn't in a suicidal state, which is the misconception a lot of people have of thinking because you're in depression, you're gonna kill yourself or you think about killing yourself. I've never thought about killing myself, but my mental aspect was all off. I was all over the place. Didn't know what I was going through. When I was mad, mine were extremes. I can't speak for other people. I can just express for myself. If I was mad, I was furious. At the smallest things, at the drop of a hat, I would be furious. If I was happy, I would be through the roof happy. If I was sad, I wouldn't want to get out of bed for days. I wouldn't want to talk to people. Didn't know why I was going through this because I never was that type of person until I sought help. Did my family know I did it? Nope. I kept everything to myself because of my family. A lot of people will judge you if you go seek help. A lot of people will look at you as weak.
Definitely will.
I'm no way a weak person, but I came to a point where certain things were going on and I didn't know what was going on. I was confused. I was getting angry at the silliest things. So internally, I knew something was wrong because I was becoming a person that I knew I wasn't. So seeking help for anybody out there, if you ever going through things, you think something ain't right, go seek help. I can't say nothing. I ain't tough. I ain't cool. I've dealt with that. I'm still dealing with it. I've lost 2 people in the past 2 years that's probably closer to me than anybody other than my dad. And I'm struggling. But I have days that I think I'm weak because I haven't been able to learn to express myself. So times that I do express myself, you will second guess yourself like, is something wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. It's normal. I'm learning to deal with it. And I'm going to let Ant talk because Ant might have a situation where he's had to deal with it, especially growing up in the African American community, that certain things will trigger, just the hood period. What's your take, Ant?
I mean, as I've been getting older, over the years and everything, I would say anybody's probably stayed in I want to say I would just say the hood. You probably at one time in your life probably need to sit down and seek therapy.
Bro, PTSD.
Yeah.
I think any kid.
Yeah.
Well, let me cut you off.
No,
I think
yeah.
any kid that's lived in the inner city
Exactly. That's what I'm.
has
exactly.
some form of PTSD.
Yeah.
It's nothing to stick your chest out that you're proud of. I tell anybody. I saw my first dead body when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah. Same.
That's
here.
not normal.
Same here. It ain't normal.
I saw my first crack rock. Crack pipe. I probably was about 7.
Yeah.
Crack needle, 8. That's not normal. You know, that's not normal stuff you're supposed to see as a kid.
Yeah.
For me, I can only speak for me. I can't speak for nobody else. The way I grew up, my family situation was so different from outside. So it was like I was 2 different kids. When I was at home, I saw none of that. None of that. Parents didn't smoke, parents didn't drink, none of that. But once I stepped out them doors, it was a whole nother world that I was exposed to. So I still had a sense of innocence, but the outside world, to an extent, took that innocence away. And you don't even realize it because it's every day to you.
Because every day to you, it's just like you was probably taught, like I was taught. Outside is for outside, and
At home is at home.
At home, man, you separate the two. That's how I was taught. So.
You know, so I can only imagine what kids go through now. When I was a kid, I was able to go outside and play.
Yeah.
Every day, all day. We had video games. Played video games in the winter.
Yeah.
We didn't play video games in the
Because you
summer.
couldn't go outside. Yeah, that's how it was.
We was trying to get outside.
Yeah.
Now, kids stay in the house because they really can't go out. A lot of kids can't go out and enjoy being a kid
It's not safe.
because it's not safe, which is sad. I've always told my kids, man, I wish you guys could get outside and play like I used to. You know, simple things, marbles. You know what I'm saying? I taught my sons how to play marbles. I saw a pair of marbles at the mall. I was ecstatic because you don't see kids playing marbles.
What we said the other day, you don't even see them at the basketball court.
You don't see them at the court no more. You
That's
don't
what
see
you know.
kids pitching pennies.
Nothing.
Man.
They pitching pennies on their phone.
Strike them out. You know, everybody on their phone.
Yeah.
And they
I don't see none of them
they're not dealing with stuff like that, which messes up their social skills. Kids don't know how to diffuse situations or handle situations. A lot of stuff we talk about bullying, and a lot of kids not able to deal with bullying. I'll tell you the truth. When I was a kid, what we did is bullying now. I mean, we was every day. We was on you about something. If you had any defect, we was on you. I have a mole on my lip. I was born with a mole on my lip. For about 13 years, I thought I was defective. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I was the only person with a mole on their lip. Everybody talked about me. My Uncle Eric gave me a name. I was going to say it, but I said it anyway. My uncle used to call me salami lip. Said my lip looked like a piece of salami with the pepper on it. Real talk. Look, and you always call that. My uncle gonna see this, he gonna be mad. But that happened when you was a kid and you learned how to deal with it. Not saying these kids today are weak, but they don't have social skills and they're not outside and they're not dealing with it. You know, you just had to deal with it every day.
And it's just like you picked up on.
You get picked on.
Mental health today, but back then you just thought it was just part of growing up, part of being a kid.
Man, we did it. Look,
it's
I can give examples of how we did kids, man. I can't even say it because I'll probably get in trouble. Some of my friends be mad at me. But some of the things we did was something else, man. But it doesn't make what goes on now, it doesn't make these kids weaker. It's just like the kids that grew up in the 70s. They had a whole other way than the kids who grew up in the 80s and 90s. You know, the kids in the 70s like, y'all don't have fun like we used to. The kids from the 80s and 90s, look at the 2000, 2010 kids, man, y'all don't do nothing. Y'all just do this.
But you know what I think it is? If it's personal, if they're taking it personal, like you grew up cracking jokes, I grew up cracking jokes, but now these kids can't do what you and me did.
Cracker jokes will get you killed.
Yeah, exactly, because it's personal. So when did it become so personal that it had to be mental?
Because I still think the getting out, not having social skills.
And I think that's
I don't
probably
think
what it is.
having social skills and stuff like that. Like I say, I was always outside. I was always playing a sport or interacting with other kids. A lot of kids now don't interact with kids and stuff.
Just doing something, moving around could be interacting,
just moving
or
around,
just doing a physical activity, something.
Or they're, like you say, a kid is always on their phone.
Yeah.
They always on their phone. They always on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You know, we ain't had none of that. So we had to.
And I think their version now with your version, my version was somebody talk about you, probably say something to it the next day, little crack a joke. Now they just go online and the same joke that you and me said,
you know,
hits online. That's how
what they do.
That's
what I call them, they Facebook tough.
Yeah.
You know, as old as I am, you have people who will talk tough on Facebook, knowing if you saw them in real life, they would say nothing. You know, I've had instances where guys I knew growing up, all of a sudden they on Facebook tough and came in my inbox, and I had to.
That same joke that they would say on Facebook,
right?
They see you in person.
They won't say nothing, or just talking sideways. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I'll come see you, and you know it shouldn't be like that. But this mental health thing, as I was saying earlier, it's a real serious problem, especially in our black neighborhood. I don't like the way, and that's how older generations was. I don't agree with it. We sweep things under the rug to act like it never exists, and we just don't deal with it. That's, I think that's wrong. I think stuff should be addressed as a way of getting over it. I think that's the only way we can move past something is to address it. Sweeping stuff under the rug is not going to do nothing. It's just going to sit there and fester. Yep. Emotions I've had over the years and things I needed to deal with, just putting them in a cabinet and talking about, I'll put it there. Eventually, you're going to have to address all that. And when you do, if you're not prepared to deal with it, it will have a real live effect on you. I am living proof to it. So, you know, just on that note, like I say, anybody who's going through mental health, if you think you can't talk to anybody, seek somebody to talk to, a friend, a family member. They got therapists everywhere. Don't be afraid to talk to a therapist. What I tell people, what I use, get you a journal. Write in your journal. Yeah. Journal helps. I write in my journal all the time. I got like 3 journals now from writing over the years. Whenever something bothers me, I write in the journal. If I get mad about something, I write in the journal. If I think about a family member, I write in the journal. You know, just as a way of expressing yourself. Stuff like that helps. Anybody out there going through mental issues, I hope you get help. I hope you do something about it. It's a lot going on in the world now. It's a lot of things going on that can mess with people. You know, there's all this crime. People can't deal with death. Death coming everywhere. Even though death is part of being alive, when death hits you back to back in so many ways, it starts to mess with you. Again, I'm a poster child for it. You know, I lost my mom one year. I lost my mentor with cutting hair the next year. So I lost 2 people real close to me back to back, and that is a struggle dealing with. But I have a circle that helps me out. It doesn't make me weak, because at first I would not reach out to nobody. I would just hold everything in, wouldn't say nothing to nobody. I express myself more, and it helps. It helps a lot.
And that's what everybody probably needs to know. Even the strongest person even needs some help too. It doesn't make you weaker than anybody.
It don't
else.
make you weak.
Strong people need to talk to somebody too.
I'm
Like
always a
anybody
person,
else would.
and I tell you, just on GP, I'm always a person. I'll be there for a person. I'm always a person that if they need to talk, I'll give advice to. I'll help anybody, but it becomes a chance. It comes a time where that person may need help. So I struggled with asking for help or looking for people to just give you advice. I struggle with the fact that the two people other than my dad that I look to for advice are gone. So, you know, you sitting there like, what can I do? What will I do? You know, you lost. I was lost. To an extent, I'm still lost. But, you know, like I said, you have a good support. You need a good support system around you. And hopefully, like I say, with this video, I didn't want to do nothing long, but I wanted to touch bases on mental health and how it affects people. So hopefully this video helps somebody. Like I say, if you have problems, don't never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid.
Strong people need help too.
Yep. Don't you're not weak. Asking for help actually makes you a strong person. Always remember that. If I don't give you nothing else on this episode. That's pretty much it. You know, there's nothing to talk about. You know, I hopefully if this helps one person, it was a success. On behalf of the crew, Mike behind the cameras, I got my boy Ant. Didn't mean to take over most of the show. On behalf of Ant, the other part of the crew, Ralph, Nikki, I'm the know-it-all. We'll catch you guys next season. Peace. If I get to crying, cut the shit off. If I get to talk about
Keep that shit rolling and send it to my email.
If I get
So one day when he wanted,
if
like,
I
Jimmy,
get
don't
to
have to pull it out.
if I get to talk about my mom, I get to crying, cut that motherfucker. Oh,
That's what we like to keep it real.
that motherfucker. Oh.
Keep it rolling.